to the one and only Sammy's and Beer podcast. We appreciate you all so much for stopping by. We are back better than ever here live on this Thirsty Thursday. We are live on Twitch. I think we might be live on YouTube. I don't run YouTube, so I couldn't say. But I know we're live on Twitch, so if you want to stop by, say hi. Catch us on Twitch. If you want to say hi to me, if you want to say hi to Thomas, you maybe can. His chat doesn't work very often. But you can also listen after the fact on Apple Podcasts. So
you can actually mail Matt at beep. So if you need to mail in a letter,
you can. Yeah, I don't get many letters, but I do get some.
I'm going to send you letters now.
Bet.
Okay. You have a return address, right, on the Christmas card?
I don't know. I didn't send that out.
Oh. Hey, guys. I'm a little sick.
I'm a little sick, too. Sick of your bullshit.
It's been a long week. I have some cool stuff I want to talk about, but it has... You know what I did today?
Say what? You kind of...
Oh, I said, you know what I did today?
Slept.
All day. You know what I'm going to do tonight?
Sleep.
I'm going to sleep all night, too. I do have work tomorrow, so...
Yeah.
I apologize for the coughing. I know it's not good mic etiquette, but I am sick. I am here anyways. I had a hot toddy my brother made me about an hour ago, and it was perfection.
Nice.
Extra lemon, the way I like it. Yellowstone for me today. I had to get a whiskey for the hot toddy. I really don't have alcohol in my house.
Yeah, Yellowstone's just not very good.
You didn't like it?
I did not.
Oh, I think it's okay. It's not amazing.
No, it's definitely bottom rung. Not, I mean, like, if you consider it like there's a median, it's below medium.
What would you say in comparison to Jack Daniels?
Well, Jack Daniels is terrible.
That is incorrect. I will always drink Jack Daniels.
No.
Jack Daniels is a whiskey where I can go to a bar and be like, I'll have that. And I did do that.
I've had a lot of whiskeys like that. Jack Daniels is not one of them. Jack Daniels isn't a whiskey. Jack Daniels is a bourbon.
I have a question for you. So, during my work trip and everything, we went to a bar. We went to a bar with a bunch of 20-year-olds, right? Early 20-year-olds.
Yep.
Out to like a busy pumping bar next to in between two clubs, right? So it was full of people.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think I lasted in that bar?
I wouldn't bet that you even got a drink.
I got one drink, which was a shot of Jack Daniels.
So you didn't get a drink, you got a shot.
I did get a shot.
Yeah. So I was right. You didn't even get a drink.
I didn't last more than 10 minutes in that bar.
Yeah.
Before I was just like, nope. I walked out.
Yeah.
I had them all.
The less those places seem desirable.
Oh yeah, and I wasn't taking care of them, but I was being responsible, right? The responsible drinker, because none of us drove. We Ubered. So they all had iPhones, so I had them all give me...
You flew there. I don't think any of you had vehicles to drive.
You can rent cars. They let us rent cars.
Well, I'm aware that you can, but, like, why would you have done that?
Sometimes I will if I want to go do something. Like, if we're, like, an hour away from Myrtle Beach, I'll rent a car and go to Myrtle Beach. But I had them all give me their locations on the iPhone, because you can set it for, like, 24 hours, right?
Yep.
And I went down the street to, like, this German pub that had, like, half as many people in it. Fucking best hot dogs ever. Beers were $4.
Best hot dogs.
It was
You're a weirdo.
so good. And then, like, everyone else was just like, this is where I'll be. This is where we're meeting up by the end of the night.
Yeah.
It was nice. So I went out. I did it. I went out.
Did you?
Kinda.
You went and had hot dogs. You went and had dinner.
I stayed out till like 12:30.
It's not even that late.
We had to stop drinking by 1 to be able to fly the next day. There's like a cutoff period where you can't ingest alcohol anymore.
So what, you just took a shit ton of shots at 12 and because you're not going to be just as drunk?
It's 12 hours before crew brief. So it'll wear off for the most part, like enough to eat, sleep, and get out of your system. And then those motherfuckers...
I've been still pretty hungover after 12 hours.
Well, I get downstairs into the hotel early because I'm setting up for crew brief and everything. I'm getting my stuff together. I really didn't drink that much. Had a couple beers, had a couple shots, but like early, right? And I stopped drinking early. And I go downstairs and I just see them all in the gym fucking lifting and running and sweating their nuts off. And I knew they were all hammered at the end of the night. So I was like, God damn, I walked into the gym and the air smelled like alcohol. It was something, but they were sobered up.
Why weren't you down there lifting?
Fuck that. I was tired because I stayed out late.
So they stayed out late partying and drinking, and they're still up before you and working out.
Still working out. I was like, God damn. I don't make them like that anymore. Jesus.
Wait, were these the old people or the young
No,
people?
they were the young people. Yeah, these are I don't know.
So you can't say they don't make them like that anymore. They've made them like that. They're there.
Yeah, they didn't make them like that when they made me. Okay, I was not part of that. That was not factory design for me. No, I used to be like that in my 20s. Like you know how easy it was to drink and then do stuff the morning after.
In your 20s.
I'm not really.
You are.
I got military miles.
You sound like my kids and just making up excuses.
I just didn't.
All you're doing is making up excuses.
I was so sleepy. I didn't want to leave the hotel that night, but I knew that I should, and I'm glad that I did because I got everyone home safe. So,
do you think they wouldn't have made it home safe if it wasn't for you?
They've not before. So, track record is a.
But that's not like that's such a responsibility that you don't have to take.
No, you do.
Why?
One person has to. Usually, the highest ranking enlisted. It's a thing. But I don't have to like babysit them and walk with them to every club and everything. You know what I mean? I just like, this is where I'll be. This is your end time. Uber's going to be ordered here. Then we all go back together. Do whatever the fuck you want in between that. And it worked out. It worked out. I like to think it worked out. But I do have some stuff to talk about in regards to like that mission that we did. Some stuff that I can and really like want to get into. But that's in a little bit.
Okay.
First is the shots. I know what my shot's going to be for. It's really sad. So if you want to do yours first, that's fine.
Go ahead.
It's kind of hard to follow up.
Nah, it won't be. I'll be good.
So my shot goes out to a creator of a series that impacted a lot of kids my age, your age, my nephew's age. Generations were impacted by this guy and his series that he created. So,
that's right.
Akira Toriyama, you were missed. You were old. You see how old he actually was?
No.
He was in his 70s. I always thought he was like a young guy, but he's been around a long time.
Dragon Ball Z is fucking.
It's really old. I just I didn't know. You never really think about how old he is. So, Akira Toriyama, thank you for giving us Super Saiyan. That's all I got, man.
Which level of Super Saiyan?
Super Saiyan 1, the best one.
Okay.
Abi.
Not Super Saiyan Gold or Black or Super Mega Ultra Saiyan.
You hear this? As if he wasn't impacted by Dragon Ball Z. As if he didn't watch Goku body Frieza live.
I didn't, because it had to be dubbed from Japanese into English before I could watch it.
It did. You're missed, buddy. Thanks for all the good times. I think I know why you don't like it.
It's because it's not good.
It's got a flavor.
And it's not good.
I mean, it's okay.
It's drinkable. I drank it. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't a bottle that I'd buy a second one of.
Hey, what do you think of the mustache? It's been a month.
It looks fantastic.
I think it looks really good.
That's what I said. Those are literally the words that I said. It looks fantastic.
I don't know. I don't know when to take you seriously or not. I now granted, I think it looks good until I stand next to someone with an actual mustache, like you said.
Quit comparing yourself to other people.
It's Captain Teddy.
Your mustache can look good compared to somebody else's mustache. You shouldn't compare yourself to other people.
I just
you should
think
just worry
I look
about
good.
being the best version of you.
I try. Where'd my... Oh, did I forget my water bottle? That's all right. I got Big Red.
So, all right, my shot. What is up with this camera?
It's not his day, ladies and gentlemen. It's not Bartholomew's day. But yes, Akira Toriyama, huge impact. I think on a lot of us, little boys, but little girls too.
Okay. So, my shot is going to go out to my youngest son. He worked his ass off and made it. He is going to state wrestling this weekend. It's his first year wrestling, and yeah. Buddy, I'm super proud of you. Cheers to you.
Yeah! That was super cool to hear. I actually told a plane full of people that had no idea who you were when I found out.
And it's really kind of cool. Like, the program was started by their coach like 4 years ago because they used to have to drive about 25, 30 minutes to take his son to practice. And he was a former college wrestler.
Okay.
But he's gone on. He's actually an extremely intelligent person. He's got 2 doctorates and like is like a medical researcher. So he started this program, and just so that way his son, he's grown this program over the last 4 years, and this year they had 28 kids compete in districts. Of those 28, 24 made it to regionals. Of those 24 that went to regionals, 11 of them are going to state.
It's pretty good.
And a lot of them, and I think it's really cool. Like, you look at this group that my youngest son is a part of. They've got the age. So for their age, it's called Bantam 55. One of their wrestlers got second. Bantam 61, which is the next weight up, they got third. Bantam 67, they got second. And then Bantam 83, they got third. So, like, they're like, if those 4 stick together, they could be an unstoppable force.
It's just a good team.
10 years.
Yeah. Good. I mean, hey, college scholarships, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
College scholarships, I mean, yeah, there's... And like I said, and having those other kids that are good to help practice and drive you and push you, and it's been fun. It's been exciting.
I think it's really cool that you put your kids in a sport you're not familiar with, that you can't help with a whole lot. You know what I mean?
I'm able to help now some. I mean,
but you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Like, going in, like, I was completely blind. Like,
I don't think a lot of parents would do that.
It was kind of nice because I didn't, like, I went in thinking, like, I'm not going to do any coaching with this. Like, I'm just going to sit on the sides and I just get to be the dad that cheers on his kid and doesn't have to do anything.
Put him in a chokehold.
I coach multiple sports. I mean, I help coach baseball for both kids, and I help coach football. I head coached and assistant coached football for both kids. So I was kind of like, all right, yeah, let's get a sport where I don't have to be the coach. And it didn't work that way.
Good.
I'm too competitive and
yeah,
too involved.
Literally no one's surprised. So
I had to get an AAU card. I have to pay every time we go to a tournament to coach my own kids. They have a coach's bracelet you have to get.
There you go.
And it's going to cost me $50 to coach my kids this weekend.
But you're going to pay it.
Oh yeah, but it's so messed up. Like, paying to coach your own kid.
That's how the places make money. You know, these motherfuckers don't make money.
They do.
They're
charging. It's $35 for my wife to get in.
That's not a lot.
Yeah.
You got to rent a facility. You've got to have hydration. You've got to have the mats, and
There's going to be like 6,000 people there.
That's a lot of people.
In fact, I would say that's on the low side. Like, this is probably going to be like a 7 to 8,000.
Now, my question is, like, when does the chair get involved in the match?
The what?
The chair.
The chair? It just depends on if they're in the ring that's tall enough to get under so they can get the chair out.
Okay, so I didn't know, like, what age
Some
bracket the chair comes in.
Yeah.
And then someone fucks someone's wife at some point, right? Like, that's...
of course.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm just making sure I'm
Yep.
absorbing the right information here.
Did you know I learned this on The Amazing Race yesterday? Speaking just for, I think this would be important for you to know.
Fun little segue before then. I actually know 2 people who are on The Amazing Race. Continue.
What do you think the most watched sport in your homeland is? Mexico, I mean.
Oh, I was going to say, can we specify? Because my homeland's America, but you're going to be a racist son of a bitch. So, probably cricket.
Cricket? You think cricket is the most watched sport in Mexico?
Yep.
No. Come on. Be serious.
I mean, obviously it's football.
Which is soccer.
Yeah.
What do you think the second most watched sport is?
Beach volleyball? I don't know. We don't have another sport.
You do. And I was so excited when I saw it on The Amazing Race last night.
What is it?
It's wrestling.
Yeah, Mexican luchadors. Yeah.
Luchadors?
That's like a thing, yeah. No, I have cousins that were like really into it. Yeah, no, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
They like get real into it. But it's more of a show with the luchadors and stuff. There's more mystery. Never take off the mask.
Yeah, it's Nacho Libre.
Never take off the mask. I've had diarrhea since
Mysterio
Easter.
Jr.?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I just saw it. They brought that fact up, and I was like, wrestling is the number 2 most watched sport? Awesome. Good for you guys.
That's pretty fucking racist, and I like it.
How is that racist?
Because it is. But I like it.
I thought it was... I was real happy for you.
I haven't been to Mexico in I don't know how long. I remember going a lot as a kid.
I've never been.
It's not great.
There's a reason that they're climbing the border by the thousands.
Yeah, there's a reason they're coming this way, not that way. I mean, there's just like with everything, there's portions that are beautiful. But the rest of it ain't, homie. I had cousins that grew up without a floor. Like...
So, like, they floated?
It was just dirt. The house was built on top of dirt. And they'd sweep the dirt and water the dirt and...
Well, it's warm enough. You don't have to, I mean...
It's not, though. It gets really cold, actually. It's a desert. But yeah, not a great place to be overall.
Well, mainly just because of, like, the cartels.
That doesn't help, but the poverty was there way before then, too.
Well, poverty can be fixed. Like, cartels have stopped it from being fixed.
Kind of. They help and hurt at the same time. It's really weird. It's just the lawlessness of it, and yeah. It'll get fixed one day, but it'll be centuries from now, and like, I don't know. It's a thing. I don't dwell on it. I don't come from there. I have none of my family's ever been from Mexico. You know where my family originated from? Texas.
Texaco?
It's when Mexico was Texas, and then they cut the line. My family was just still hanging out. Like, they'd been in Texas for fucking ever.
I mean, they came from somewhere before that, though.
They had Spaniards that came in, and then before that, it was like Mayans and Aztecs. Yeah.
Have you ever done like a 23andMe to see like?
It was mostly fucking Spanish and Mexican. I'll tell you what. And it's like indigenous. And 6% black. I'll show you where that 6% is.
Your lips?
I do got some big ass lips. No, yeah, I think one of my ancestors married a slave, and she was not technically a slave, and it was like this whole thing. We have some recorded history where my mom and my sister can be a part of the Daughters of the American Republic because we have a family member that was in the Alamo. So
I've been to the Alamo.
Oh, me too. Too many times.
Yeah, well, once was enough for me.
Yeah, it's and next to a wax museum, like not great. But yeah, Texas is great. I like it. I do like it.
Can I ask you one kind of odd question?
You've never stopped before.
Why does nobody visit Houston?
Oh, it's icky. All right.
Like,
well, let me give you.
I'm looking at like planning. Just hear me out. So this was my thinking. Is I'm looking at like I wanted to plan a nice little trip for the family. You know, go somewhere where we can see family. But I also wanted to go near the ocean. You know, I wanted to go near the Gulf and where the kids could go to the ocean. My kids have never seen the ocean. You know, so I'm like, yeah, you know, maybe we can do that. We could go do some swimming, do some deep sea fishing, you know, things like that. I mean, it's the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to be warmer. I think I know that it's polluted, so you can't really swim. But I'm like, let's look at going to Houston, and nothing. There are zero. Like, I went to Costco's website, and they have zero packages offered
so,
to go to Houston. Now, you can go to Austin, or you can go to San Antonio.
Now, Houston has NASA. I personally love it. That's super fun. It's like a one-day thing, though, right? NASA's so fun. Houston's traffic is the worst traffic I've ever seen in my entire life, and I've been to third world countries like multiple times, and Houston's worse. Like the driving and just overall the crime in Houston, the population is just very ghetto. I don't recommend bringing a family there. Like, the food's really good, weirdly enough. There's pockets of good everywhere, but I don't recommend spending money to go to Houston.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I came up with, because
now, if you want to, all the things you were describing to do with the ocean, South Padre Island, beautiful time. Still pretty far.
Might just go to Florida.
If you're going to spend that amount of time and money, go to Florida.
Because the space thing, they have the Kennedy Space Station in Florida.
There you go.
Which is about an hour from Disney.
Unfortunately, there are just better places to be on the water than in Texas. Texas is just not the place.
I was just, like I said, really surprised. I mean, because you can take, like, it just seems like what a missed opportunity for a giant city on the coast. Because, I mean, you hear about visiting Atlanta. You hear about visiting Louisiana, you know. I mean, they have a football team, they have a baseball team, you know, they've got all this stuff, but yeah, like I said, nobody wanted to suggest trips there.
I don't recommend, and it does suck. That does suck, because that could be a really cool place, but the water is so bad, they literally tell diabetics not to go in it.
Just diabetics?
Because
regular people can?
risk of infection is so high with diabetics, you'll die. Like, you have a very high chance of dying if you go in that water. And you look at the water and you don't want to go in it. It's brown. Like, you don't want to go in that water. So if you're gonna spend money, go someplace just a little nicer. Shit, go to Montana.
There's no oceans in Montana.
Nah, yeah, I guess.
My kids haven't seen the ocean. They've seen mountains. We're going to see mountains this weekend. Well, big hills, but
ocean. Yeah, well, Florida's a good one. California, West Coast.
I've never been to Florida
nice.
Either.
Oh, Florida.
I just don't want to do.
Done. Florida's really nice.
I don't want to do like the whole Disney thing for like a week. Like, if we're gonna do Disney, I want to do it for like a day, because everything I've heard, it's just miserable. All you do is go fucking stand in line to ride like 3 rides, and spend a shit pot of money.
You do. It's not miserable, but it's not as good as a lot of people make it out to be.
See, and for me, I would rather go, like you said, to Montana, or that's why I was like, well, we'll go to Florida, we'll go to Disney one day, we'll go to Universal one day, and then we're going to go fucking to Kennedy Space Station. I'm going to book a fucking deep sea fishing adventure, and we're going to go catch some fucking fish, and then we're going to spend a day at the beach.
Yeah. Go to Magic Kingdom, and then Universal. Universal is honestly what your kids are going to want to do anyways. They're at that age bracket where it's like they're not, and they're boys. They don't want to go see the Disney princesses. They give a fuck about Mickey Mouse. Like, You know what I mean? Universal has all like the superheroes and the Jedi and like all the cool stuff.
Yeah, they want that. Yeah, we want to go to Star Wars.
I 100% recommend Universal every time, and it's not a part of the Disney package. It's separate. You know, it's its own thing.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
Universal, 100%. Disney, it's fun when you're a kid too, because you don't recognize a lot of stuff going on.
See, but for me, like I've never been to Disney. I've never been to Florida. I didn't get to experience it. So it's part of me is like, I want my kids to, but then part of me is like, I just want to take them to the mountains and let them go feral.
I mean, yeah. Take them to Universal. If you want to give them an experience they're going to love, Universal. Because I know your boys, and they're like boys. You know what I mean? And they're not frilly. They're not... They're boys, and they're going to like Universal more than anything else. Maybe the Magic Kingdom, because I know your youngest really likes animals. So there's a lot of really cool stuff to do with animals in the animal kingdom that he might not experience elsewhere. But everything else, fuck it. Who cares?
What's up, Ramen BJ?
Oh, I love it.
Ramen BJ's in the chat.
I love a good noodle job.
But it's apparently steak and blowjob day, along with pie day. So.
Is that what now?
Steak and blowjob day? Never heard of steak and blowjob day?
No, but I might make that, put that in my fucking calendar.
Yeah. February 14th. It's Pie Day. Because you know what Pie Day is, correct?
It's March.
Huh?
It's March.
Do you know what Pie Day is?
I do. 3.14152639.
No, quite a few of those.
I fucking bullshitted everything after 0.14. That's about saying things with confidence, motherfucker.
I was watching a TV show. It was a game show, and they had, I think it was Chris Hardwick, and he listed like 50. 3.14 and then listed 50, and he goes, I had a lot of friends in elementary school.
I want to bring us back to the fact that I bullshitted that with confidence, and you're like, wow, you know that. And I'm like, no.
I didn't know enough to question you, and so I didn't want to look like a jackass.
Most people don't. Like, about most things. Okay, so there was one thing I really wanted to talk about that I think is really interesting that happened to me this weekend. So
what was his name?
Have you ever, I know it's like a thing that people talk about, but have you ever been in the flow state?
The flow state?
You know, where like the athletes talk about it, where like things are just moving and you're not even thinking, you're just doing, and you're going and you're going and you're going, and like you're just performing at your peak without even thinking about it. You're just Goku Ultra Instinct, like you're just doing it.
Yes.
Have you ever experienced that?
Yes.
Okay, so you know that feeling. Have you ever experienced that with another person also doing it? Like you're both on the same and doing it at the same time?
Yes, but in a really weird situation. Like,
let's hear it, because yes.
So, I worked at a jewelry store. I worked for about a year and a half, and as you can imagine, what a jewelry store is like at Christmas time in a mall.
Oh,
well,
God, yeah.
What it used to be like. It's not anymore, because obviously malls have gone into hibernation. But this was 10 years ago, and
Damn.
I was the assistant manager, and the manager was a really cool gal, and we would start at, the mall would open at 8 o'clock, and both of us would work from 8 to 10 and just be busy basically the whole day. I mean, it was just nonstop. And I just remember there was one time, it was like Christmas Eve, and it was like 4 o'clock, and I was helping this person doing this, and I had like 4 things. And all of a sudden, we just kind of looked at each other across, because we were in like different areas, and both of us were just like, we got this, and just head down and just kept going. I mean, we weren't saving lives or doing anything cool, but we were shuffling people in and out so fast. We made a lot of money. Well, the company made a lot of money.
I want to say you didn't make shit.
Pennies. But yeah, so that was where I've ever done it with somebody. Like I've definitely gotten in that state, like while playing like rugby and playing football, and just you get in the motion. And especially like rugby, it's a lot easier to get into because rugby is more of it's a flow game like soccer, versus like football is very stop and start.
Yes.
And so getting into a flow in a game like that is a lot harder. But rugby, I definitely got into a lot of flow where you'd get done with the game and you're like, oh shit, what's going on?
Where'd the time go? Hours
Exactly.
passed by.
Yeah. So, but let's hear about your flow state with your coworker.
So, my coworker and I have known each other for a very long time. Like, I mean, 4 or 5 years. We've had a very strange, not strained relationship. It jumps back and forth, right? And she's older. She's 32.
That's older.
Older than me.
You're 29.
So we had an aircraft emergency and then a patient emergency happen at the same time. And we were just both working, and, you know, we do stuff on the civilian side too. And it's like all of that training culminated, all of the training we've had with the Air Force culminated, and we just took charge of the whole situation and we just started going. To the point where I didn't need to say anything. Something would be happening. I'd look at her and she'd hand me, like she knew, and she'd hand me right what I needed right at that moment, and I'd take it and go, right? And the same thing was just happening. But it was only the two of us. The rest of the crew was kind of scrambling, and I felt bad. But it's like, her and I got this. Like, we fucking figured it out. And everything worked out just fine. Emergency landed, like everything worked out fine, but it didn't stop. That's the weird part for me. It hasn't stopped yet. And I think it might be just because I know her so well from just years of exposure and working together constantly. But like, she has like a nasal thing consistently. I don't know what it is. I never asked. I don't give a shit. But like, where she was with me at that German place, and I'd hear her sniffling, there was no napkins near us, so I reached behind us to an empty table and grabbed them so she could blow her nose. It's just little things like that kept fucking happening all weekend long. I would get thirsty, like while I'm doing crew brief, and maybe she could hear it in my voice or whatever, and she wasn't doing anything important, and like 30 seconds later there'd be a bottle of water next to me that she put there. It was the weirdest fucking thing.
So you guys were just being aware of your surroundings and responding to each other.
I think we were just aware of each other.
Yeah.
But that's weird. I've never had that happen to me besides with my girlfriend, but even then it wasn't as dialed in. I think the situation made us dial in, and then like we just didn't dial out.
Yeah.
Nothing romantic, nothing weird,
well,
you know.
But I also think like when you can get on the same wavelength as somebody like that, you want to maintain that wavelength.
Oh, it was awesome. It was
so,
fucking
like,
kick ass.
Like you're then becoming hyper, like especially if you became aware of it after the fact, then you're being hyper aware of that person and like wanting to maintain it. Like you were aware when you heard him sniffle, and normally you might have just been like, you might have heard the same thing and just been like, whatever, fuck off. But this time you were like, we're a team. I got your back. Here's your shit.
I think that's what's happening, because like it was just consistent. Again, nothing weird, you know, nothing like that. It was just all the whole goddamn weekend. Because that happened the first day, and the rest of the time we were working, for any little goddamn thing.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Right. Just gotta chill. You ever get those?
All the time. It was a very, and don't get me wrong, it was actually really cool. Like I said, I've experienced it with like in codes and stuff.
You guys were like syncing up, like you were in.
Like we were two fucking women in an office. We were synced up. Yeah, like that.
You guys had to fight together?
Yes, it was just like that. Give me, like, I'm throwing a tube down someone's throat and she already has the CC syringe that I need. Like, it was working, and I don't know why, but I like it.
You got done blowing a dude, and she's already got that.
She said, "Get the tissue.
Get the cum off your chin so you can go to the next room."
It was really cool. I had to bring it up. I've been thinking about it for a while. I'm just like, what the fuck, man? You know?
Yeah. Well, and it's fun to. I wonder if it's so much that you guys were syncing up, but you both just reached what you feel is peak performance, and were proud of the work that you accomplished when, like you said, everybody else was kind of crumbling, and you both stepped up and just gained a new level of respect for each other.
I think that is what it is. More than anything else. Like, it was just one of those things. It was fucking cool. And I think it's like a subconscious thing, like we didn't want it to stop. You know what I mean? I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. And it, like, if it was a dude, I'd be more about it, but it's like, it's because it's a girl. But I'm just kind of like,
Yeah, I hear you. It's a tough thing.
But it was cool.
Because do you think, when you're in a relationship, do you think that guys and girls can be friends while they're in a relationship?
Like, you can be friends, but there's still like a line. You know?
What kind of a line?
There's like I don't know. There's still a line. I just don't have any examples of one.
Like, do you text, other than, like, do you have girls that you're just friends with that you text?
Not really. Besides our friends, you know. Besides the two, no. Besides Egg and Kaya, there's... Now, there are women in my life that I would consider a friend, but I don't just text them.
Because you keep that separation.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I let them know, too.
And there's a reason that you keep that separation, because it's like, I'm in a relationship, and this is, you know, because, yeah.
I don't want these waters to be muddied. Like, this is it.
Exactly. Yeah, like, I don't want to say the word tempted.
It's just, I don't even want the thought to cross someone else's mind, let alone my own.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Not saying it would, but just don't even put yourself, don't put them in that situation. Just don't even make it a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, sure, it's got to be hard enough, you know, like, just you guys being in the military with other genders and, you know, being on flights and being out of town and things like that, you know.
And you trauma bond, and you go through a lot of stuff with these people, and I'll be the first to admit that line has gotten blurry for me before. Not while in a relationship, but just me and a coworker. We were just vibing really well on a flight, and then we were together for weeks at a time. You know, those lines get blurry real easy.
Yeah.
So just don't even entertain it. You know what I mean? Just don't even get that flower the opportunity to grow. Pour concrete on that bitch. Like,
right?
But that's just me. I know some people can do it and handle it and be fine. I just personally don't even get anywhere near.
Do you think people can do it and handle it and be fine, or do you think those people like to keep doors open?
I think those people just like to keep doors open. And then I know people that don't handle it and do it anyways, because that's what they like to do when they go out and go on these missions. Sucks. I'm not that kind of person. I will call my girlfriend every goddamn night. You know what I mean? I mean, when I was out and taking care of everybody, I was texting her the whole time. I was calling her, like, because to me it's not a big deal. I'm not down for that kind of lifestyle anymore. I'm not just trying to go out and
make them go. Nah.
It's yeah, no. But it was really cool. That whole experience was really cool, and I hope that our relationship going forward is the same. You know, we go on flights together again, and it's just as easy to pick it back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had to talk about. That's what I was like itching at for a week.
Well, it's only been like 4 days, but
I don't know, man. My concept of time is fucked right now.
It's all right.
I'll get some. I'm actually off this weekend, which bums me out that you're going to be doing stuff.
Going to be doing lots of stuff.
Goddamn family man.
I thought it was super funny. So we had to book a hotel, obviously, for this trip. I had looked at like Airbnbs, and hotels see the opportunity to make extra money, and they fucking take advantage of it. Because the place that we're staying at, I could book a room for them right now. Well, like when I first looked, like last week, and it was like $82 a night. You got to the weekend, it was like $100.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to book for this weekend, they have state basketball and state wrestling out there. Guess how much they wanted to charge me per night?
$250.
Yep, $248 a night.
Mm-hmm.
And I was supposed to be a part of our wrestling team that reserved a book of rooms. And I booked this, and I called them, and I'm like, hey, booked this, and it said it was going to be $248 a night. I was like, I thought I was part of this group. And I was like, I clicked on the link and everything that was sent to me. Like, oh yeah, we got that. Yeah, sorry, it didn't put you in with the group for some reason, so I can get you the group rate. They dropped me down to $128 a night. So my bill went from $550 for 2 nights to $250 for 2 nights.
Pretty good. I mean, that's still you just escaped the price gouging, but that's still.
I'm fucking so excited about it.
I mean,
I saved like $200-$300.
You shouldn't, yeah. And I think it's going to be cool because Lincoln, this is his first, your first time doing stuff with him and with the team and travel sports and stuff. And I think it'll be really cool for him to experience that. And like his little friends are going to be in the same hotel probably, and.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that are going to be in the same hotel. His one friend, their family got like an Airbnb, but they're like, yeah, come over and, go in the hot tub and get a sauna and
make the most of it. Like, it's a vacation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a little mini vacation. I got the day off tomorrow.
See, it's a vacation you can go do stuff with,
Yeah. Well, I just find it funny because it's where we're going to be camping at in 3 months, though.
We'll do a little scouting mission,
Yeah, I'm like, we're not going to do anything outside because we've got all this stuff planned in
for later.
3 months.
You're staying in the fuck side.
We're going to the pool. We can go get breakfast, and we're wrestling. That's all we're doing.
I mean, yeah, but that's to a kid. That's like the fucking coolest weekend ever.
They're pumped. I'm pumped. Like, it's been super fun finally being a part of a really cool community. I don't know. I mean, and maybe you've been a part of these before, but I just had never, especially with my kids, and maybe I don't remember if we've talked about this or not, but just being a part of this wrestling community, which is really funny because it's not a team sport at all.
No, but
we are all super invested in it as parents. It
is a team.
We're talking about when we're leaving. We've gone and gotten meals together after tournaments.
It is a team sport though, because you train with each other. You want to see the guy that you're wrestling with every day to succeed, because you go from being solo to, I don't know, it's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but I get it.
It is. It's super weird. I'm cheering on all these kids, and it's even more so than when I'm on an actual team. When we were coaching football, I'm so much more invested in this than what I have been.
I guess when you think about it, it's when you're on a team, like an actual football team, those are people that are taking away from your kid potentially, right? You want your kid to be the best on the team. In this instance, his teammates take nothing from him. They can only give him improvements. Do you know what I mean? They can only improve him. So it's not about the team. It's about the team, but it's more about the individual too. There's no team killing. There's no stealing kills. This is it.
Yeah. It's been. I think the world would be so much better if way more people wrestled.
I think the world would be so much better if we brought back single combat.
Yeah. I mean, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be wrestling. If they get into a combat sport that's self-reliant.
Fencing.
It could be fencing. It could be jiu-jitsu. It could be taekwondo. It could be karate. It could be wrestling. But any sport where they have to physically fight another person. Because it's crazy. I've watched so many of these wrestlers, like seeing so many of them and how successful they are at life then. Like,
Oh yeah.
they're successful at wrestling, but then they become super successful at life because they've learned the discipline. They've learned the self-reliance of, you know, just not being on a team where it's like, well, the reason we lost is because Bill and Tim didn't do this or John didn't do this. It's nope, this is me.
This is all you.
And the reason I lost is because I did this and because I didn't do this. You know, and just taking away all those excuses that, you know, kids have.
I agree.
I had to question whether, like, when you have your nephews, when your nephews are over at your house, do they have structure? Do they have times that they're allowed to play video games and the times that they're not?
Yes and no.
Whatever?
So they have a lot. So what I've discovered is they have a lot more structure here, but it's more of a monitored thing because they're not with us all the time. We're more, I wouldn't say up their ass, but we're more cognizant of them and what they're doing. So if, like, any of us, any of the adults feel that they've just had too much time playing the video game, too much time doing this or that, we're like, all right, let's take a break. But it's also a thing where, like, we will go do something with them too. Because we just want to. A lot of the times, it's not even that they've been on the game for a long time. It's just like, hey, buddy, I know you got this new Lego set. Let me help you build it, right? Like, me just trying to spend time with him. So their times get limited, but not for monitoring purposes. It's just because we want to spend time with them doing something.
Gotcha. Because, like, so my kids are I have very structured times that they're allowed to play video games.
Smart.
Because I don't want them to have a ton of screen time. Like, during the week, if they have school, they generally don't get to play video games at all. Weekends, it's usually an hour or two on days that, you know, and they have to have their chores done first. And, you know, it's not just a free-for-all. Granted, sometimes, you know, if we wrestled one day and they didn't get any video games, I might be lax and let them, you know, play for 3-4 hours one day, the next day or something like that. But for the most part, you know, and my son was on his phone talking to one of his other friends because apparently this kid doesn't have a headset that works. So they are on a phone call the whole time, or group messenger, I don't know what it was, whatever. So they're talking. And he comes up and I'm like, hey guys, it's time to be done because they had reached their hour of video game time. And he's like, hey, you know, we got to go. And he's like, you do? Why? And he's like, well, our video game time's done. He's like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, we've gotten to play for an hour. We're done. He goes, we don't get to play anymore. And he goes, what are you talking about? And Jackson goes, how much do you get to play? And he goes, don't you have to be done playing video games at any time? He goes, no, I can play as much as I want. And I'm just like, and they've had other friends that have been confused, like when they're like, oh, we got to get off. And I'm like, am I some of the only parents that fucking regulate how much my kids play video games?
Yes, you are. I don't think it's a bad thing, but you are.
I'm just so confused by it because it's like, how do you just give them free range over this? Like, they would just sit there and do nothing all the time.
And I was that kid. I'll tell you right now, I was that kid growing up. But I wasn't at the same time. I think my age was a little different because a lot of my friends didn't play games online. So if I wanted to hang out with my friends, I went outside still. You know what I mean? But if I had nothing to do, no one to hang out with, oh, you bet your fucking ass I was playing Gears of War, you know?
Which, I mean, some of it I can understand, but I don't know, like some of these kids, we'll get home. Well, there was one day we were at football practice, and we practiced football from 6 to 7 o'clock. Kids have school at 7:30 in the morning. And this kid goes, God, I can't wait to go home to play Fortnite. And I'm like, you're going to go home and play Fortnite? Yeah, I can play Fortnite. I was like, don't you have to go home and go to bed? No, I go home and play Fortnite. I'm like, we get done with practice at 7. Like, what time do you have to go to bed? Oh, whenever.
See, now that's setting your kid up for failure.
No wonder you have the attention span of a fucking squirrel while you're at football practice. And anytime I tell you to do something, you look at me like I'm a fucking asshole.
The way my
Because there are
parents...
zero boundaries set.
The way my parents did it growing up, and then now you got to remember this was before online gaming though too, is I would get home from practice, I would eat dinner, do all of my homework, and then until bedtime I was allowed to do whatever I wanted.
See, no, I can understand that.
And that was like I was
doesn't
8.
seem bad.
No, and it was maybe an hour and a half worth of time after everything's done. You know, before my lights had to be out, and I will admit I was the kid with the flashlight and the DS or the Game Boy under the sheets, fucking grinding on Pokemon. But kids, right?
Yeah.
But my parents made sure that my fucking lights were off, and it was time for bed when I was a kid. You know. But again, this was before online gaming. I didn't have any social interaction when I played games. I played games because they were fun, like Pikmin. I had a GameCube. You know, stupid stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
no,
I do, and even with these boys, there's a cutoff time. Like, I don't know what it is. That's him, but there's a cutoff time.
Yeah. You're an uncle. You don't have to do the cutoff time.
Damn
If anything,
right.
You're the one that gets to push it.
I extended all the goddamn time.
You know, like. But yeah, it's bonkers to me that there's just no rules set, and just like how much you're setting. Look, part of me is just like you were just setting your kids up for failure.
And those kids actually, here's a really cool thing: is those kids join the military, and basic training is a culture shock for them motherfuckers.
I bet.
It's because for me, going to basic training was honestly really easy. You're gonna tell me what to do, when to do it, and how you want it done? Fucking bad. Like, right? It was my life. I was like,
I don't
okay.
have to pick what to make for supper.
I don't gotta think about anything. I just gotta do this. It was so easy. There were dudes that lost their minds, couldn't fathom that they couldn't go and get food whenever they wanted, or you know what I mean? Just no discipline whatsoever. They learned real fast. If your kids ever want to join the military, I think they do a great job.
I don't want them to join the military.
I do.
I think they're smarter than that.
Oh, and I think they're smart enough to be officers, but
They're getting college fucking wrestling scholarships or college
you're
football
damn right
scholarships.
they are. And then they're going into ROTC.
Fuck that. They ain't going to Annapolis.
You telling me you wouldn't love to see one of your kids flying a jet, like a fighter jet?
No, I would not.
Highway to the danger zone. Oh yeah.
I want my kids as far away from fucking danger like that as humanly fucking possible.
Nah, I could see both of them. I could see one, and I won't say which, but I could see one flying heavies.
Yeah, we both know which one you're talking about.
I could see one flying heavies, dropping fucking loads on motherfuckers from like 40,000 feet, and the other one just with his back right behind him, taking out fighters. Just.
Nope. Hard pass.
I could see it.
I can see them both building a business and fucking
Building a business. Well, one of these dreams is lame, and the other is my dream. So.
Oh. Sorry, I don't want my kids fucking in air warfare.
Which, by the way, my mom did something that pissed.
If my kids are gonna do anything, I want them to be fucking Wolverines. We get invaded by North Korea, and I have to get shot in the fucking head, and they're gonna go hide and kill a bunch of fucking Koreans.
On the phone, like, I want you to kill every one of these motherfuckers.
I'd give them the Braveheart freedom. Freedom!
Just yelling it, belt it. Let me hear it. No. So, and here's my big thing. I think the military should be mandatory. For 2 years, I think everyone needs to go through basic training, get a trade, and then what do you do with your rest of your life after that is up to you.
I think civil service. I don't necessarily think it has to be military, but I think policing or something along those lines all should be.
I think there should be something. And
I think even firefighters. I think they could even be firefighters.
Your sons or in general?
In general.
I was about to say, because one of your sons, actually both of your sons would make great firefighters. Oh no, because you can't grow a mustache.
No, I can't.
So they
Maybe
can.
They can. Yeah.
Damn.
You can get a Sharpie.
Get a hair implant.
Maybe they'll have that technology by the time they're old enough.
The only thing I've learned while working EMS is that I should have been a firefighter. That's all I've learned.
Yeah.
I actually have a couple guys out there, and I think I cheers to it last week, that are out there fighting the wildfires up in North Texas.
I had a good friend of mine. He's a firefighter here in Sioux Falls, but then with his training, he is, when there's like wildland fires or like forest fires, he goes out and he doesn't actually fight the fires, but he is a rescuer of the firefighters. So if a firefighter goes down that's fighting, he goes in and gets him out.
Do you know who does a lot of those wildland firefighting?
Who?
Prisoners.
Oh,
United States prisoners.
I've seen that show.
Yeah, there's a TV show on with that one dude.
Fire
in it.
Country?
Yeah, it's a real thing that's been going on for decades.
Hot Shots.
Mm-hmm. And these guys,
that's probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
these guys get training, like they're badass motherfuckers. And of course, you only take prisoners in, have been well behaved, not super heinous crimes. Like there's a step process to it. But these guys get signed on with these like wildland fire departments for a lot of money, at the end of it. So it really helps rehabilitate them back into. I mean, it's a dangerous fucking job.
Yeah.
Like in that show, they'll put the little blanket over themselves and they'll make it through the fire. Those
Only the
motherfuckers.
Brave?
Yeah, those motherfuckers aren't gonna make it.
No.
Like if you do that, you're done.
That's probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's like a 5% chance of survival at that point.
Josh Brolin, Miles Teller.
I do love Miles
Great
Teller.
fucking movie. Josh Brolin, I think, is my favorite actor of all time.
Who's Rooster from Top Gun?
Rooster? That's Miles Teller.
Right? Okay, he's my favorite.
Yeah.
He's been my favorite for a while.
Yeah, he also did Only the Brave with Josh Brolin.
I did not know that. That's really cool.
Have you not seen Only the Brave?
No.
Oh.
That's why I haven't said anything when you've been talking. I'm like,
Oh, it's so good. It's about a group of... So Miles Teller's character is a fucking junkie who's getting clean, and he joins a hotshot crew, which do you know what a hotshot crew is?
No.
A hotshot crew they're considered like Class A firefighters, so they go out and like cut lines and like backburn. So when there's like these huge forest fires, they basically take away all the fire or all the fuel that the fire stops.
Yeah.
And they fight the fire head on. And Josh Brolin's character is like the head of this crew that's trying to get certified to be hotshots. And they go out and do a bunch of firefighting, and it's such a good movie. Like that's our movie that we're reviewing at the beginning of April.
Okay.
Like it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
I'm writing it in my notes right now. I'll do that.
It's called Only the Brave.
Only the Brave movie review.
Miles Teller, Josh Brolin.
You know what? And I'll even put it on at work on my next shift, so like you'll get an audience of 4 watching it.
Perfect. Well, I mean, I don't care how many people watch it. Like, I don't get paid for that.
No, but I like having. Where the fuck did my phone go? I like having different opinions when I watch movies and stuff. You know what I mean? Because we have 4 very different personalities. Whenever I'm on shift. So. Oh, by the way, I made a chicken pot pie crock pot recipe.
That's got to be hard.
No, it really wasn't. It was really easy, but it's just the filling.
Oh.
So it makes the filling, and then you make fucking biscuits on the side. You put that on a plate, put the filling over the biscuit.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or
That's the
crescent
hardest
rolls.
part that we always have with chicken pot pies is like the bottom never gets cooked. So then you get like all this dough underneath.
It's not even an issue. I mean, it's not technically chicken pot pie, right? Like it's not this little pot pie that you can eat or this big one.
Yeah,
but it's got all the same shit.
I don't care what it actually, like how you make it, as long as it is the same. Like getting that buttery, flaky crispiness with the gooey chicken, peas and carrots on the inside.
So no, I didn't do mine with peas. I took the peas out. But I replaced them with green beans.
I don't know if that's better or worse, but either way, I don't care.
It was good. It was good. Everyone ate it. But it's in the crock pot. You start at the beginning of the day. It's fucking ready by the nighttime. 10 minutes to make biscuits or crescent rolls, whatever you want to do. Beautiful.
Hells yeah.
It was delicious. They tore it up. And then I made a stir fry before then.
The day before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Each dinner cost me $12 to feed 4 people.
Why do you pay for them if you're cooking?
I don't pay for them.
Oh.
They pay me, but it's just like $3 a meal. Like, it's for each of them. Like, it's not a lot of money.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you said it was like $12 for the meal, and I'm
Well,
like, well,
I
they should pay for it.
I buy the food, and then they send me money back. Or I'll have, what I mostly do is like, you buy me lunch the first day, you buy me lunch the second day. You know what I mean?
Seems fair.
Because I'm cooking too, so like I'm doing stuff, so I deserve a little
Yeah.
extra. If anything, I'm making money, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, because, like, to be honest, like, who really wants, I mean, cooking is okay, especially if you're, like, there's nothing else to do, but
I like
there's
it.
always plenty of else to do.
I
I
like-
like cooking, too,
Yeah.
but I also fucking hate cleaning up.
And I don't clean up. But I try to keep the mess down to like 1 or 2 pots only. You know what I mean? I try not to be an asshole about it. Like, I won't deep fry things, or I won't, do something that's going to require a lot of work. Crock pot, easy meals, that's why I asked. Chalupas, fucking white people tacos, just the easy stuff, man.
For sure.
But yeah, we've hit it.
We are. We hit the hour. We're at time. We made it.
I love talking to you. I love doing the podcast, but I really love squishing bugs.
Were we supposed to review a video game to this time? No, that's
Yes,
next time, right?
that's next time.
Okay.
It's
So
only the
we're
second
doing
week.
Helldivers?
Yes.
Okay. Next Thursday?
Mm-hmm. Should be fine. I'm pretty sure the next few Thursdays I'm good.
I got 2 weeks off now till baseball starts, so.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Like, away from, like, kids' sports. I mean, I still have to work.
Oh, yeah. I figured.
It just, well, and they've got training anyway, but anyway. This has been the Sammy's and Beer podcast. We enlightened you with Thomas's hitting the zone, getting in the zone with his coworker, and mind blending technologies. We also talked about the disciplines of state wrestling and combat sports, for how good they are for people, and that Thomas thinks everybody should join the military. But yeah, it's been a fun time. We appreciate y'all so much for stopping by. Rom and BJ, we appreciate you stopping and chatting with us for the first time.
Love a good noodly blow.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Thomas, any final words before we call it a night?
Everybody just grow a mustache. Just do it. Even if you think you can't, just give it a shot, because I didn't think I could, and it's not great, but I think it's good enough, so just do it.
In the words of Michael Jordan, just do it. Thank you all so much for stopping by. We appreciate you all. See you next week. Toodles.